This baby here is my old favorite. It's 1971 Mustang Mach 1. Now, I think you and I both know that this car will never reach the speed of sound. But it's still pretty cool. And it's still pretty fast. I mean, this is a car to drive if, for one, you want a more challenging car than the Camaro Z28. You know, the car I did the last review on. And also if you want a vehicle that can really fight its way through opposition. The Camaro, you more or less have to weasel your way in and out and vulture people. You can't really brawl and go toe-to-toe with other cars. But this car, oh heck yeah. This thing's heavy. All steel body, big steel bumpers. This is not a car to be taken lightly. I mean, this is definitely bringing a shotgun to a night flight. Now look at the suspension too. This is awesome. It's much better for stunts than the Z28 Camaro because the Mustang Mach 1 suspension, for one, it's got more travel, better ground clearance, and it's also a lot softer. See, watch how much it leans when I turn. Provided I can get it to turn without drifting. Look at that body roll. Ooh. See, the body roll is a double-edged sword. I mean, if you like doing stunts, this is a car for you. And also, it's got some advantages like the Camaro does. Watch this. I'm going to launch it, not even going to vector, I'm just gunning it. See? Nice smooth pickup, just a little bit of tire churn. Should you want to accelerate a little bit faster, I'll also cover the interior view here. This car actually isn't too bad to drive from first person, because the car is actually realistically set up. The camera angle isn't too bad, and the car isn't as wide as you think it is, which is nice. So red line is about 6,500 RPM. I'll put it around between 4,000 and 5,000, and punch it. Ooh, man, look at that thing. This thing just goes right off the bat. Speedometer goes up to 120 miles an hour. I found that to be a little bit low. I've gotten this thing going 150 miles an hour downhill, no problem. But realistically, our top speeds are going to be between 120 and 130 in the city. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, nice controlled impact. Notice how the car didn't clomp around and jar itself over that big jump. I mean, that was a huge fall. The only damage I got was a smashed mirror and a slightly crumpled hood. Tried doing that in the Camaro, I probably would have flipped the Camaro over because the suspension wouldn't have soaked up enough of the bump. I just would have flipped over and slid into something. So you can tell this is much more aggressive, much more crude instrument. But man, it is fun. I mean, look at these jumps. We take these jumps at 100, 120, 130, boom, perfect landing. With the Camaro, I would have skidded, I would have clomped over the bump, would have hit something. This thing, nope, it's just fine. It's happy as pig in mud, just going off jumps and hitting things. Now, this car strength rating is actually a bit low. This car should be a little bit stronger than it actually is in game. What I do like about it is its heft. It's very heavy. So, should you need to block someone from passing you, should you want to smash someone with this car, oh, you won't have any problems with that at all. This is a fat pig of a Mustang, but it's still pretty fast. Now, of course, there's more to driving than going in a straight line. I, for one, love corner carving. I love close curvy tracks and all those tough corners. So, you will quickly see this car doesn't like to be pushed hard in the turns. This is what you should not do. Do not do this. Don't just gun it through a turn. I'm lucky I didn't spin out. Oh, now I'm spinning it out. I mean, unless you want to drift like that, don't gun it through a turn. This is definitely an older car. You can tell. See the brakes, whoosh, the tires do not hold the road very well at all. But that's alright. You can work around that. This isn't a bad car at all. I do enjoy driving it, mainly because it's a challenge. I love driving cars that will kick your butt if you don't know how to drive them properly. Because it forces you to be a better driver, simply put. This thing's very rewarding to drive. I mean, I've screwed up with it too badly yet. But you'll see this car's handling limits are very touchy. I'm not even going very fast. I'm hurting brake traction here. So the engine sits somewhere between a relaxed cruise and a rocket ship ride. I mean, it'll go, but you won't take off right away. It's got to run a little bit first. Let's see here. Oh boy, 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 oh boy. See, I could have very easily plowed into that wall if I wasn't careful. Well, since we're here, let's do some first-person cornering. That'll be a lot of fun. See, on the gentle turns, this car is fine. It's when you get to the really tight turns, the chicanes, the apexes, the increasing and decreasing radius turns, that's when things get nasty. You can hear the rear wheel spinning a little bit there. You can hear them starting to lose traction. I gotta have Sharp turn. I mean, if you're gonna lock the brakes up, this is an alternative strategy. If you're gonna lock your brakes up, brake really, really early, because you have to factor in for your car sliding once it locks the brakes up. That'll actually increase your stopping distance just a bit. Oh, this is going to be an interesting area. I haven't driven this thing on the dirt in a very, 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 very long time. Part of me is dreading that, because the Camaro Z28 already had problems on the dirt, and those are with radial tires. I cannot imagine the Mach 1 going on there with bias wide. Woo! But man, they can drift so well. Alright, let's see how this thing does in the first radius turn here. This is an increasing radius. Wow, I'm shocked at how little traction this thing's rear end has. Seriously. I mean, I wasn't giving it gas, and the rear end still wanted to step out. Let's go off. This is a nice little area. Love this little track. This is a good area to really find the limits of you, as well as your machine. If you can go through here without crashing, but also still keeping a reasonable speed, yeah, you're pretty comfortable with your car. Now, this is another brake test. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. So you got to be careful, because you notice when this car brakes, I don't know if I showed this earlier, but it really dives forward. The brakes have an extremely front-heavy bias. The entire car is front-biased, both weight-wise and braking-wise. Let me get up to speed on and show you what I mean. I haven't seen brake dive this bad in a long time. I mean, it's much worse than on the Camaro Z28. Watch this. Whoosh! Front end just dives forward. You know, I don't mind cars with a front brake bias, but when it gets that severe, when the front dives like that, that can impede your corner. Uh-oh, now I'm drifting it. Okay, let's let it drift. Woo! See, it is kind of fun to drive this car. But look at how much speed I lost doing that big, fantastic drift. See, it takes a lot of practice. I dare say this car is harder to drive than the Shelby GT500 from 2010. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that, because at least with the 2010 GT500, you have superb brakes that stop the car almost instantly. You go from 170 miles an hour to 0 in less than 120 feet with that car, which is incredible. This car, I mean, it won't go 170 miles an hour, but it'll sure take longer than 120 feet to stop from 150. It's a very challenging car to drive, mainly because of the stuff it doesn't have. It doesn't have disc brakes. It doesn't have radial tires. It does have a lot of horsepower and torque. It also has a lot of heft and weight. So, God, look at that body roll. That's scary. Oh well, makes it a better jumping car, I guess. Only you can find a jump to take this thing off. Now, this is an car that, unlike the Camaro, you need to be at least 2 steps ahead in your route. For example, let's say I wanted to make a quick merge here. I just barely made that, and I briefly thought about that before I did it. I mean, every turn you make here is going to be a calculated ordeal. So here I think I'm going to just take a quick merge onto this alleyway. You know, any change in direction, you really do need to plan out and factor in all possible constraints on your car's traction, because if you don't, you'll make a fool of yourself when you crash. Whoosh, look at that jump. Oh, nice smooth landing. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Really Audi. You have to factor in assholes like those that sometimes don't get out of your way. That's a minor thing, though. That doesn't usually happen. Oh my god, here come the cops. America! Oh wow, that actually worked really well. I did not think that would work. Not bad. Ah, shoot. See, this thing's size, I keep thinking of driving a Camaro, but I'm not. I'm driving basically a very powerful luxury car that has more emphasis on creature comforts and ride quality than actual performance. Oh god, see, this is just such a tail-happy car. I mean, at least with the Shelby GT500, I can tell when it's going to step out. I hear those rear wheels chirping. This thing, I mean, it'll just brake at the most random times. This is a car that, it's a real white-knuckle driving experience. I mean, it's hard. This is one of the hardest cars to drive well in the game. You know, I make it look very easy in my getaways with this car, but oh no, you should see all the stuff I'm doing behind the scenes, all the vectoring I'm doing, all the curses I'm uttering at the car for being so hard to drive and whatnot. Well, you knew the half of it. But as much as I like to hate on this car's flaws, I really do like driving it. It's a challenge, and I'm addicted to a challenge. I want cars that are really pushing. I want performance of it that'll make me try harder. And see, you can corner tightly with this car, you just can't take tight turns fast. I mean, you see, I'm braking really early, I'm easing onto the gas, I'm not steering very aggressively. This is a car that it's more of a cruiser than a racer. I mean, it's great for highways. It's a lot of fun for highway races, because they're mainly straight lines, or close to straight lines. Now watch what happens when you take this car into the dirt. It's actually got pretty good traction, until you start to take a turn. I mean, it rides right over the bumps. Nice, smooth, controlled ride here. It's not bad. See, look at that. It doesn't lose its sense of direction. It's nice and controlled. It's awesome.
Never knowingly undersold.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Go suck a whale cock, you stupid Impala taxi. Of course he had to hit my side mirror off. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Nah, I'm just kidding. I saved it for it. One problem with driving in first person with this car is you can't really see around the corners because that big pillar, that black A pillar there. Much prefer third person, but first person's cool because you can see the gauges moving and stuff. Actually, this car, I'm surprised, you can actually gun it. You can just flat foot it through the dirt here, which is surprising. I mean, I guess this car is a little bit less wheel spin than the Camaro. I don't really understand why this car is so much easier to drive on the dirt than it is on the road in some cases. I mean, look at this thing. Probably the ride. The ride isn't really helpful. I'm not drifting it at all. This thing's just gripping nice and easy. I'm switching from tarmac to dirt, too. You can see there's a little bit of tarmac beneath me. But, oh god, this car's so cool on the dirt.
Look at all their faces. Priceless.
And see, on the dirt, at least on this road here, you have a lot more room to kick the tail end out if you want to. So, as weird as this may sound, you may have more fun driving this car on the dirt than you do on the road. Although it is harder to tell from the interior view when your wheels are losing traction. Uh-oh. Here comes the cops. This will be an interesting race. See if I can beat this Camaro SS to these turns. And it's friggin' 71 Mustang Mach 1. Yeah, see, this thing doesn't have any of the over-revving problems as the other cars. The Z28, it'll over-rev if you push the accelerator too hard on the dirt. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at how well this car drives on the dirt. I haven't driven on the dirt in a while either. Wow, man, this car does a lot of work. This thing just does all the work for you. The suspension's nice and soft so you don't go clomping all over the place. Wow. This could be a nice Baja car, an off-road racer. Man, I would have never expected a car like this to be good off-road either. Especially these crappy bias-slide tires and drum brakes. I would have never expected that. Not in a million years. Look at that. This is impressive. Let's say you want to drift it.
Textbook.
Be my guest. The tail end will be more than happy to step out for you like that. See? Would you? Oh god. Escalade! Oh wow, that was way too close. See, I'm not used to driving a car that's this nice on the dirt. But even the Crown Vic, my favorite car in the game here, that thing will still spin its tires like nobody's business on the dirt if you just gun it. This car, you don't have to really work up to it. You can just gun it, and the tires will somehow grip. It's really weird how it works. Can this car be driven civilly? Yeah. Is it difficult? Extremely. I mean, this is definitely not a car for my playing style. Oh boy. It's big, it's heavy. That isn't bad enough. It's not just that this car's cornering is so difficult to get right. I mean, as long as your races stay relatively straight, you should be fine with it, because you can definitely muscle your way up through your opposition. This is not a light car. This is a fighter. This is something you can use to smash and pit maneuver your way into first place and maintain it. I mean, fight dirty with this car, by all means. I mean, this is right up your alley. But if you're looking for a more civilized or suave or refined performance car, look elsewhere, because you aren't going to find much of it here. That should make this car a piece of crap, though. This is a very fun car to drive. See? Woo! Big drift. It's just not very efficient.